I went from being an absolute failure, feeling miserable every single day, and trying to work for 1, 2 hours, but I couldn't. I never was able to work for more than 2 hours in my entire life. I almost failed my ninth grade. I went from that to a straight A student working for 13, 12 hours every single day. And I'm going to teach you exactly how I got there. One of the most viewed video on my channel is how to study 12 hours a day. And I realized there's so many of you who want to have the capability or a switch which they can turn on and off and just work for 12 hours on command whenever they want. And I want you to understand this concept, and I'm going to explain it to you in a very layman's term, and you will be able to think about this every time you slack off or you're not able to work for 12 hours or more than 5 hours a day. First point I want to make is progressively overloading. I talked about it in my last video. Progressively overloading, it's a concept from gym, and I used it in real life for my 10th grade, for my 11th, and for my 12th grade. And what it actually means is, let's say you are going to the gym as a beginner. If you say to me that, hey, I want to bench 80 kilograms, 100 kilograms on my day one, I would laugh at you. I would be saying, you're stupid. You are going to die. You need to start off with 5 kilograms first, then 7.5 the next day. Then 1 week later, you can try 12.5 kilograms, and then 15. Couple of months later, you will be at 20 kilograms. 1 year later, you might be on 80 kilograms. If you got that concept from that gym and you understood it and you agree with it, and you see that, hey, it's logical to start off with a lighter weight and not with like a 100 kilogram bench press on your day one, then you should be understanding the same analogy in terms of studying, in terms of working. How? Right now, you're telling yourself that, hey, I want to work for 12 hours a day tomorrow. I want to study for 8 hours a day tomorrow. Today, I'm not going to be studying for even 1 hour, but tomorrow, this magic would happen and I would be finishing all of my to do list, all of the tasks I have on there, and I would be working for 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours with complete focus. Whenever I tried to do that, and I thought like this that, hey, tomorrow I'm going to work 12 hours, or this is the plan I will be following from tomorrow, not today, from tomorrow. And I would be achieving these many grades and I would be completing these many chapters and preparing myself for the examinations tomorrow. What I want you to understand is that will never come. And I've wasted months of my life thinking like that. I wasted so much time just telling myself that tomorrow I'll work for 12 hours, tomorrow I'll work for 8 hours. It never happens. It's like the gym. You're telling yourself that today I won't go to the gym, but tomorrow I'll be lifting 80 kilograms. Even if you are able to study for 12 hours a day previously, even when you were able to do that, last year, let's say, I was able to do 12 hours a day every single day, and I took a 9 month gap. I didn't work, let's for example say that. Still, you cannot go back to working 12 hours a day as you were able to do that previously. Why? Because think about the gym. Let's say you were able to bench 140 kilograms. You took some time off, you maybe got injured, whatever happened, life happened, right? You get back to the gym after 8 months. Will you be benching 140 kilograms? No. You would be starting off with 60 kilograms, then doing 75, then 80, and then working your way up to 100. So, no matter who you are, no matter you are a beginner, no matter you are already advanced and you are already able to study for 8, 9 hours, and you took some time off and you're not able to study for 12 hours again, this will apply to you. Progressively overload the amount of hours you are studying for. Start off with 50 minutes if that's too high for you. Or if it's too low for you, you can start off with 2 hours, 1 hour. Do that. Tomorrow, push yourself a little bit more. 3, 4 days later, push yourself a bit more. Let's say day one, you were able to study for 1 hour a day. Day two, 1.5 hours. Day three, 2 to 3 hours. Day four, day five, you're able to study for 3 hours consistently. In 2 weeks, you will be able to study for like 7, 8 hours. That's a huge amount of progress. In 3 to 4 weeks, a month maximum, you will be able to work for 12 hours easily. You will get back to the original number of hours you were able to study. If you lose your ego and you understand that you are no longer that person, that guy or that girl who was capable of studying 12 hours a day, you're no longer that great anymore. You took some time off. You lost a lot of skill. Studying 12 hours a day, it's a skill. And the bad thing about it is you lose it. The good thing is you gain it back pretty quickly. Just like muscle, when you lose the muscle, it hurts. You feel it's like a hit to your ego. But you recover that muscle in like 3 weeks of training and being on a bulk. That's exactly like studying. When you're working and you didn't work for a couple of months, you get back to that same level of work you were doing 6 months ago if you just lose your ego, lower the weight, lower the number of hours, and just start small and work your way up. Within 2 weeks, you will be able to study for 10, 12 hours again. So the next question is, how do I study for these many hours with full focus? Because the key to productivity, it's focus multiplied by hours, the time you have. Okay. So if you work for 2 hours a day and your focus is 2, the productivity output is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. Let's say there's another person who works for 2 hours, but his focus is 10. That's 20. His focus is so much higher than this person's focus. Why? Because they put the same amount of hours in, but the focus of this other person was just immaculate. That's the level I want you to get at. I was able to study and work for 12 hours. And out of those 12 hours, I would say 9 to 10 hours were just completely focused. I was in a flow state, after, like one after another session. Like every hour, I would take a break for 10 minutes and I'll tell you exactly what kind of breaks I was taking in order to get back into the next session without much resistance, without much problem. Okay. But I was able to get back into flow state again and again, one after another, and I was able to focus for 10 hours, 10, 11 hours easily, sometimes even 13 hours. I remember this one day where I was studying with my alone from morning, and at the end of the day, I was using the Forest app, and I was fully focused for that entire day for 13 hours. For 13 hours, I was focused completely. And obviously, I took breaks, but that day I logged in 13 hours and I got so much work done that day. And I was just blown away by the fact that 8 months ago, I was unable to work for even 50 minutes with full focus. I'm doing 13 hours now. The next point I want to make is boring breaks. Breaks are something you need to take to refresh yourself and to get the energy levels back to go into another session, another focused hour or whatever amount of time you can work for. But the breaks you take, it's very destructive. And if your breaks are more interesting than your work task, it's going to be a lot harder for you to get back into the zone, to get back into that focused flow state you were in before working on that task. Because the break you had is like 10 times more pleasurable than the work session. You should only be getting your dopamine from your work task, nothing else. Your break should be very boring. I recorded a video like 15 minutes ago and I took like a 5 minute break to refresh my mind. I went out, drank some water, came back, stretched my body, and now I'm recording another video. That's how I take breaks. I look at the wall or I drink water. I do nothing else. I don't reply to DMs. I don't talk to people. I don't have any other source of dopamine. I just do boring things. Because if my breaks are boring, I would be more likely and more interested in working. I would be looking forward to the work session I will be having because it's fucking boring to just look at a wall. It's more interesting for me to look at a paper, to look at my study material, to look at books if I'm just looking at a wall beforehand. If I was on my phone listening to music, it would be so much harder for me to focus on physics, to focus on computer science, to focus on scripting or researching for a video. Boring breaks that will help you to work and get into flow state one after another for hours upon hours. And soon enough, after 1 month, after 2 months of doing this, with just these two techniques, you will be able to work for 10, 11, 12 hours a day, maybe even more effectively with full focus. So, number one was progressively overloading the number of hours you can work for and also the amount of time you can focus for at one sitting. So, right now, I can focus for 3 hours straight. But at the beginning, I wasn't able to focus for even 45 minutes. So I started off with 45 minutes. Most people just stay there. They just stick to that time and just don't push themselves more for 50 minutes, for 55 minutes, for 1 hour, for 1.5 hours. Most people just do the Pomodoro technique for 25 minutes. I genuinely think it's the worst technique ever. Like, have some self-respect for yourself. Stop working for 25 minutes and 5 minutes break. Upgrade yourself and progressively overload the amount of time you can focus for. The goal should be to focus for 2 hours, 2.5 hours with no distractions, complete presence in the work task at hand. The third point is flow state. Flow state is the number one thing that will make your work task, the work day, more pleasurable. Flow state is the peak human experience you can have. It's the state of mind where you're completely present at the task at hand and you don't even realize how fast the time was passing. Greatest sportsmen and women in the world, they are in a flow state when it comes to performance. When they are in the court and they're playing basketball, when they are playing a cricket match, when they are going for a swimming competition, they're completely in a flow state. It makes you release dopamine from your work. That's what happens. So when you're in a flow state, dopamine gets released and you get into this state of mind where you're just completely attached to the work at hand and you don't even realize anything around you. You just completely focused in this one thing. So the first phase of flow is struggle. It lasts for no longer than 5 minutes, maximum 8 minutes. When you're starting something new, when you're starting to work, you're entering another flow state. The first 8 minutes would be a bit uncomfortable. And most people just give in to that uncomfortable or that discomfort, that pain they feel. And they just get distracted. They just go on their phone. They do something else. They switch their task to something that is easier. I don't want you to do that. I want you to realize that the pain you're feeling at the beginning of a flow state will last for no longer than 3-5 minutes at max. When I recorded the first video, or whenever I do the first task for like 50 minutes, 1 hour, and I take a break, the next flow state or getting into the next flow state, it's very difficult. But that difficulty lasts for like 3 minutes, 5 minutes max. You feel a bit tired, but you do it anyways. And within 5 minutes, you're energetic again. You feel the energy, you feel the dopamine rushing through your brain, and you get into another flow state. So the first phase is struggle phase. Don't give in to the distractions. Don't give in to anything, any of your feelings and emotions. Just understand that the pain, the struggle you're facing right now won't last forever. It will last for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes max. And if you took boring breaks, that will help you even more to reduce the time of this struggle phase. The next phase is the release phase. This is the phase where you start to release dopamine. And this is the phase where the flow state begins. And this is probably the best feeling you will ever have. Whenever I have worked for long hours and I experience this state, it's the best thing ever. It's the peak experience I can absolutely, it's like up there with like food, sex, and like shelter. That's how important flow state is for our existence. Next part is resistance. You need to love resistance. Resistance is this invisible energy that comes up when you're doing something that is right. Resistance is something that comes up when you're opening up a company, when you're opening up your own entrepreneurial business, when you're doing something unconventional that is right for you, when you're going to write a book or become an author, whatever you're doing, when you're starting to work hard, resistance is going to show up no matter what. Okay? What I want you to realize is resistance never shows up when you're eating an ice cream, when you're doing the bad habits, pleasurable things, instant gratification activities. It won't show up. It will only show up when you're doing the good things. So I want you to use it as a GPS system. It's your navigation system that tells you that, hey, this thing that feels hard right now, it's the right thing for you. It's the thing that will lead you to success. I want you to love resistance. Another thing is, resistance won't last forever. So whenever you start working, it will be there for like 8-10 minutes, 1 hour max. But the majority of the time, throughout the day, it will come and go. So it will come for like 2 minutes and then just go away. And a couple of hours later, it will come back and tell you that, hey, you're tired, you have worked for 5 hours today. Let's just slack off and eat some junk food and just relax. Tomorrow, we'll finish this off, and tomorrow I'll do that, and we'll wake up early, and whatever excuses you come up with. That's resistance. If you just ignore it for the next 3 minutes, it will go away. You will be back into the work you were doing. You will be able to study for 12 hours. If you just ignored it and understood that, hey, this thing that is telling me to stop, my coping mechanism, it's all resistance. And it tells me that I'm doing something that is correct. The fifth thing is very important, and you have heard about it probably your whole life. It's the thing you followed in your school. It's the thing that helps the world to run with order and not go into chaos. Right now, your world is in chaos. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You don't know anything. You're just flowing with emotions. You're emotional. You haven't decided what you want to do. You don't have a structure to your day. You're just flowing with life. That's chaotic. That's very chaotic. What I want you to do is have some order in your day. Have some order in your work. How would you get that order? Is to have a routine. a rigid routine you follow every single day for the next 1 year, 2 year of your life, or that time period. Have a routine. Very important. Imagine going to the school and having no routines, and the teacher is telling you, do whatever you want. How chaotic would that be? You can't even imagine yourself without a routine in school life. So instead of letting the authority tell you what you should do with your time, why not just make your own fucking routine and be your own fucking authority and just take control of your life? Be the boss of your own life rather than the school system or the university telling you to do what you want to do. Instead of a professor forcing you to work, you should be able to force yourself. That's the biggest flaw with the education system. It doesn't teach you to work on your own terms. It teaches you to work when an authoritative figure is telling you to work. And it's a skill, it's a skill set to work on your own term. So have a calendar, time block your day, time block everything you are going to do. If it's not in your calendar, do not do it. I don't care if it's a movie night. I don't care if you're going to eat junk food. I don't care if you're going on a walk. If it's not in your calendar, don't do it. Like schedule everything. My days are scheduled. If I go for a haircut, it's going to be scheduled on my calendar. If it's not, I'm not going. That's the level of structure I want you to have. And that's what helped me to study for 12, 13 hours a day. I had order. I knew what I was going to do. I didn't let my emotions, even when I was 17, 15, 16 years old, I still was able to work for 12 hours a day. How? Because I didn't have the emotional control I have right now, but I still work for 12 hours a day. How? Well, I had a routine. That's how. If I didn't have a routine, to this day, I would slack off. I would be unproductive. I wouldn't be able to focus. I would be slacking off with my good habits. I would be just wasting time. Routine is very important. Follow it. Time block your day. Download a calendar app, whatever you want to use. Just do it. Just have a routine. Last point is, and this point really helped me, and it took me 2 minutes. And this is what I did. I closed my eyes every single morning and I visualized how my day would go like. I visualized the process of me working hard, the process of me going through resistances, the process of me convincing myself to not work very hard and then just ignoring it, ignoring all the negative emotions and just going through the day. I visualized that. And at the end of the day, I closed my eyes. Not at the end of the day, but at the beginning of the day, I visualized the end of the day. And I visualized that, hey, after 12 hours of work, after seeing that number on my Forest app that you have studied or you have focused for 12 hours today, I would be ticking off every single task I had in my to-do list. Every single one of them was crossed off. That's what I visualized for 2 minutes. I set a 2 minute timer and I visualized with my eyes closed that this is how my day would go like. And it would happen exactly how I would have imagined it. Every task would be checked off. I would be working for 12, 13 hours a day. I would be focused and I would be going through the resistance. And I think it's because of all of the things I talked about and because I visualized it. Your brain doesn't know that, hey, if it's happening in real life or if it's just fake. When you watch a horror movie, you genuinely get scared. Why? Even when you know the actor, the actress, you know it all. It's fake, but you still get scared. How? It doesn't know the reality. It doesn't know the difference between what's real, what's fake. So when you imagine yourself going through hardships and working for 12 hours a day and doing everything perfectly, like imagining the character traits your superior version has, it has a huge impact on your life. So 2 minute visualization every single morning for how the rest of your day would go like will literally change your life. So here's the resolution of the video. Here's the action step, the concrete action plan I want you to follow. Number one, progressively overload the number of hours you're working for. Day one, set small targets like 45 minutes, 50 minutes, 1 hour. Day two, increase it slightly, 1.5 or 2 hours, and just work your way up slowly. That's action step number one. Action step number two is to understand and get used to flow state and understand and see through all of the cycles of flow, the struggle phase, the release phase, the flow state, and the recovery phase. Like all of these phases, you need to go through them multiple times. And with practice, you will be able to get into one flow state after another flow state and be able to work for 12, 13 hours every single day. And it requires a lot of skill set, and you will be getting better at it by time. That's the second skill set I want you to have. Number three is going to be you scheduling your day every single day, the day beforehand. So at night at 6 p.m., 7 p.m., when your day is over, schedule tomorrow in advance. Schedule every hour. What are you going to do? Eat, sleep, whatever you want to do. Go to the gym, work. Just schedule it and do it. Okay. The next point is visualization. So I want you to visualize for 2 minutes every single morning. That's enough. Like, don't make it 30 minutes. It doesn't require that much time. Just take action immediately. But 2 minutes of visualization will definitely help you a lot. Visualize the process, visualize the end result, visualize the how the end of the day would look like. How would you feel when you have accomplished so much? Go visualize the hardships, the failures you might have, and visualize the solutions you are coming up with. So it prepares you for the negative things as well, the hardships as well. And that's the video. If you got some value out of this and you were genuinely able to work for 12 hours, I want you to leave a comment down below about your journey, about how you felt about it. If there's some feedback, some criticism you want to give me for this video or for my channel, you can leave a comment down below, or you can DM me on Instagram or Discord. It will be linked down below. Subscribe to my channel, like the video, and I'll see you in the next one.